Well, Real American Freestyle 5 coming at you this weekend, like 3 days away. And with me today, defending his title, Jordan Oliver. Jordan, how we doing, man?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm just ready to get the show going. 5 days out, get to defend my title. It's nothing more exciting, right?
And I usually don't ask about weights, but this is different this time. Same day weigh-ins. So, what are the thoughts on that? Does that do you guys come in lighter for this one? What's happening there?
Yeah, you got to come in lighter, right? It's a little bit of a different process, right, of training. But, even to my knowledge, um, I didn't find out there were day of weigh-ins until 2 days ago, right? So my process kind of got thrown off a little bit, but you got to roll with the punches. And I like to think of it as like all the odds stacked up against me, right? Uh, I like to still put on a show. So I've, I took the responsibility after that last RAF, going into that first one, when I got the call 3.5 weeks out, I had to cut 30 pounds, right, to get down, right? So I did a 30-pound cut, but after it, I stayed training, and I knew this one was coming up, so I didn't get as big. So I'm really close to weight already, right? So just me being productive and just thinking ahead. So easier weight cut, more training focused than how to get the weight off focus, and I'm just enjoying every minute of it. As long as I can wrestle, I'll wrestle until I can't walk anymore. But now it's we get to put on a show. RAF is amazing. Their organization, what they're doing for wrestling. So to get there, not only to win a belt, but to help grow the sport of wrestling and keep defending that belt.
And first defense is a rematch. Rail Woods right off the bat. I guess before I ask you about the match, did you want this rematch? Was there still excitement for this?
There's always excitement, right? This guy is, you know, number three in the world, right? Arguably, could push for a silver, could push for a gold. You never know
Mhm.
with wrestling. Um, so for me to take on a challenge was great to come basically out of retirement, right? And wrestle the number three guy in the world and beat him. Um, but the way I beat him, I'm not happy with, right? I like to come out, put on a show. And, it's a chess match, the highest level of wrestling. And Real, I know very well, and he's a very good wrestler, right? So, people see a low scoring match, but there were so many pieces being moved in that match, right? And it was a very high level, very high IQ wrestling match, right? So it excites me just because the last showing, I'm never satisfied. Even if I got the tech, I'd never be satisfied,
You
right?
want
There's
that
always
pin?
stuff you can, yep. There's always stuff you can improve on. And for me as a wrestler, it's just to keep evolving, and knowing the match was 2-2 last time, even if I can make it 3-2, 4-2, right? But in my mind, I'm coming to get the kill. I'm trying to get a tech fall.
No, you say you're trying to get that tech. You would love a pin. That's what you're always going for. But are
Always.
there actual opportunities against Real where that's possible? Like you just need to maybe, I don't know, dig deeper, different strategy. Explain.
I think it's just more continued wrestling in action, right? A lot of our exchanges in the first match were, I like to call them one-off, right?
Sure.
One-off sequences. He takes a shot. There was never a really re-attack situation where I'm re-attacking him. The only situation that you saw was at the end, right? That long sequence where he got in on a shot. Kind of, I defended it, countered it. Um, and when you watch that kind of wrestling, it excites you, right?
Yeah.
That's what it should be all match. So even like some of my attacks and his attacks were kind of one-offs. And it was almost I don't want to say filling out process, but we had a lot of respect for each other. And, um, we know each other very well. You know, we're really good friends. Um, so, and I have nothing but respect for Real. He's top of his game. He's a great competitor. So the exchanges were, very high IQ exchanges where he didn't want to get too deep into situations that can get him in trouble, and vice versa. I didn't want to get into situations where, I can get in trouble. And me, especially coming off such a long layoff, right? But this match, now that we felt each other, I think it'll be a more higher pace, high action match. especially, coming from his side and my side, we're both unhappy with, the outcome, whether it was a win or lose. We want to get out there and if we're going to win a match, or even if, we're going to lose a match, I did everything in my power. Um, and if you know, hypothetically thinking I'm not losing, but when you think about it, if I did lose, like I go back and I run that match through my mind, and I'm like, man, there's so many opportunities that I had to score and win, and you never want those thoughts, right? Um, and me coming off the match as a winner, I'm looking at the match and I watched the video and I'm like, there's so many opportunities to score, and I just didn't pull the trigger, right? So for me, there's a lot of room for growth, a lot of room to, put points on the board. But it's just going to come, if you're looking for a tech fall, you're looking to be dominant, it got to be that continued wrestling action. It can't just be one action and then out. It got to be 1, 2, 3 actions deep.
And what's more motivating for you? Was it last time wanting to actually win that belt, or is it this time now like wanting to defend your belt?
Um, it was motivating. It's motivating either way, but it was motivating coming right out, right? Not have wrestling at a high level for 3 years doing MMA, right? So it's like, do you still got it? Do I still got it? And this is like one of the best guys in the world, right? So
Yeah.
it's like I'm coming right out against, a guy that took the bronze medal, and it's like, oh, you're gonna find out real quick if you still got it or not,
Yeah.
right? So, um, even the first 40 seconds of the match, he got to my leg, pushed me out of balance. I'm like, okay, let's not let this happen again. But as things start playing out and I start filling out the match and the whole process, I was like, I can win this match, but I can dominate this match, right? And I still have it. I kind of already knew that. But motivating to, for sure, coming out, and I don't like to lose. So, coming out and just even winning the belt, it was just, hey, I don't like to lose, whether we're in the staring contest, we're in whatever kind of contest you want to call it. I'll be mad if I lose, right? So when we got into the match, there was no thought in my mind of losing, and the same thing goes into this match. And I don't think about the belts, right? I think about improving and evolving myself and showcasing my skills, but improving from that last match of what I got to show the fans, and doing a better job of being a better version of myself.
And I assume your goal with RAF is to obviously defend the belt this time and then be a dominant champion at 145. Do you want to like double up on weights? Do you have any specific RAF goals?
Oh, for sure. If I can collect all the belts, I'll try to collect all of them, right? But it's, you know, defending the belt, becoming the champion at 145, holding the belt, um, going up to 155, challenging for the belt, and actually going up to 165 and challenging for the belt, right? I think I can take, 55. I'm big enough to wrestle 55, and 65, I get big enough to wrestle 65. And, just seeing some of those guys at 55, like the Austin Gomez and Yanni, those are great matches. If I can get off, the 55-pound belt and the 65-pound belt, why not? And these are competitors that are really good. And, to be the best, you got to beat the best. And some of these matches, I'm a big fan of, me and Yanni have history. I'm a fan of Gomez. I'm a fan of David Carr. I know these guys very well. They're good friends of mine. So to get to share the mat with them, it would be an honor, right? And it's no disrespect at all to come up and try to defend for their belt. I think, you know, looking from the outside, it'll push each and every one of us to be the best version and better wrestlers, right? Accepting these challenges and um, me, selfishly, I'm being greedy, right? If I can collect 3 belts, I want 3 belts.
I mean, I don't know how greedy that is because the fans would like that too, man. People appreciate greatness, and something else that's unique about RAF is it's not just your Olympic and collegiate wrestlers. You got UFC, MMA guys coming over. I mean,
Yep.
half the card this week is UFC guys. I'm super excited for Sarukian and Lance Palmer. That's gold. But what are your thoughts on that? I mean, you're an MMA guy too yourself too, but you started with wrestling. So, like, what are your thoughts on these guys coming over are there any specific big names, UFC or anything like that, you think would be a good wrestling match for you?
I think it's awesome, right? Bringing more attention to the sport, but also, when you're an MMA fighter, how important wrestling is.
Yeah.
So hats off to most of these guys, not most of them, all of these guys for dipping their toes in the water on the wrestling side and not just wanting to become, better fighters, but evolve their game. This is evolving their game, right? For them to have to really learn wrestling, get in a wrestling match, and get into the wrestling side of things. I think it's going to help them overall. And for me, I'd love to wrestle Khabib, right?
Ooh.
Cormier is really close friends with Khabib. And, back in the day when Daniel was, training, Khabib was out there training, AKA, we made a friendly wager. And he's like, "You think you could take down Khabib?" I'm like, "I'll take down Khabib at least 3 times in the first 2 minutes, And he's like, "I don't know. I don't know." So we never got to go fully through with it. But that's one that interests me just because his grappling is so good, right? You see it in MMA, and when he takes guys down, he holds them down. You got to have very, very good grappling to hold those guys down, right? In MMA, especially. And I've been on the MMA side of things where I've taken guys down, and they're like caged wild animals, right? Trying to cage a freaking wild animal because they know when they're on the ground, they're in danger, right? So they have almost like the superhuman strength. And for, watching his career and for what he's done in his career with taking guys down, holding them down, and mauling them the way he did, it's impressive, right? So, he has the Russian blood, right? So he just naturally is a wrestler, and you see him with the videos of him grappling bears and things of such, which is cool, right? So that's somebody that interests me. I think Topuria would be awesome as well. He has a wrestling background, and I believe he wrestled in Georgia, or maybe, yeah,
I
I
believe
believe
so,
he
yes.
wrestled in Georgia, right? And they breed wrestlers as well. So
Hmm.
if it's a fighter, I want to go after kind of the ones with the wrestling backgrounds or have the really, really good grappling. Um, and it's no disrespect, but I think I'm just, excuse me, head and heels over, uh, like overqualified to wrestle some of the fighters because I'm like, this is not going to be fun. It's going to be fun for me,
You
but
need
not going to be
another
fun for them.
high level wrestler. You know what I mean?
E- exactly. So like those interest me, right? Big, big names uh, are amazing fighters. They're going to be, well, Khabib is a legend. Um, Taporia is already a legend, right?
Yeah.
So, some of those guys, if it were anybody else, if I were to pick like just a pure fighter to grapple, or they call it grapple wrestle, it would be like maybe a Volkanovski, right?
Okay.
Somebody that has like pure fight in them, that that it's like you watch him fight and you're like, this guy's a dog, right? He has a lot of heart, and he's just very mindful in his training and the way he approaches his fights. Like if it came to a wrestling match, he would approach it the same way, right? And he would do the right things to prepare for it, and not just kind of be like, "Hey, I'm so and so. I can wrestle with these guys." I think he'll go and take the specific steps um, to really, really just get better at wrestling and really challenge me, right? So it's cool to see even like my guy, and I would never, want to wrestle him. But I'm really, really good friends. He's always been kind of a mentor to me as well. Cejudo, to come back to wrestling, right?
Well, he's on RAF6.
He is. So I saw that, and Henry's a legend in MMA. He's a legend in wrestling, um, and I think he's going to come back and still shock the world how good he is, right? Because the guy's mind, just even hearing him talk MMA, it's
Oh
just
yeah.
like that in wrestling. It's just like that. So it's like it's cool to see those kind of things. Um, I would love to go out and train with him. I would never want to share the mat with Henry just because we're really good friends. But if the time calls and we needed to, I would love to share the mat with him. He's just like I said, he's the legend of the sport and gold medalist. Why not take on challenges? But For me, it would be, Topuria. Khabib first, Topuria. If it's a pure fighter, Volkanovski, somebody of that nature. Um, that would be really cool.
Now, what about oppositely? Are you done with MMA or are you going back?
Pondering, right? I still train here and there. Ever since I've had my son, right, my world has kind of flipped upside down, right? At first, it was I'm going to get the gold, right? I want a UFC belt, right? And I was taking the specific steps to get better in my striking, to get better in my jujitsu, all of the above. And then, my son came along and it was, I'm going to be going through wars, which is fine. I'll go until somebody's dead in the cage, right? But I'll never give up. And that's something that's just my mindset, right? Um, but when you're thinking about longevity, right? When you're thinking about your mental health and just your health in general and on this earth, um, selfishly, for me, if it was just about me, it was, I don't need it. It's fine. But ever since he came along, I'm like, listen, I want to be able to remember his name. I want to be able to do all the things that I can do with him as long as I can while I'm on this earth. Right. So I step back from it a little bit. Um, and that's kind of the side I've been pondering. Like the best doctors in the world, I don't care who they are. There's not one doctor in this world that can fix your brain. Right. And for as good as you can get, there's always the risk of taking that one shot
Yeah.
that can just switch things in an instant, right? So that kind of poured in when I seen this guy come out. I'm like, my whole mind just switched, right? So I'm like, wrestling isn't so bad. Let me go dabble in wrestling a little bit more, right? Um, but yes, there's still that itch to still fight, right? I took 3 years and dedicated my life to it. I'm undefeated, and I love fighting, right? Even when it just comes to wrestling, that mentality of before the technique, before the skill, it's I really want to break this other man's will,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I want to turn it into a dogfight and then let the technique and the skill show. But at the end of the day, I want him to know that I broke his will, and there's no way, any form or shape he thinks he can ever beat me, right? So that's kind of the mentality in wrestling, and you bring that in the fight, and then it takes you a long way without any skill, right? But I took 3 years, and I was at Kill Cliff with the best, Henry Hoof, Sean Soriano, Robbie
Yep.
Lawler. The list goes on. Jason Strout, Coach Dieter Navarro, who's an amazing Cuban boxing coach. These guys poured so much into me, right? So actually this is a bad thing that it's in Florida because I'm gonna fly in tomorrow and I'm going right to Kill Cliff to hit mitts and get right back with the coaches, right? And there's a part of me that's like, okay, I can start coming in and start training my MMA as well. And I'm just like, because I already contacted, the coaches and was like, hey, I'm coming in. I'm going to use the gym, but also I want to get some mitt work. Right. So it's a good thing and it's a bad thing. I'm like, I'm going to find my way back to MMA too. And right now, I shouldn't. Right. So right now it's like focus on wrestling, but it's also great because, these guys took 3 years and poured into me. Right. Taught me everything. Didn't ask for anything in return and just were amazing coaches, right? So to be able to go back, see them, catch up with them, but also get to do what I love and perform in front of them, it's an honor, right? So it's cool that it's in Florida. Most of them, if not all of them, are coming, my training partners and um, the coaches. So it's bittersweet because I want to, I'll be packing my boxing gloves and my shin guards and all of that to go back. But I'm like, let me just focus on wrestling for now.
Yeah, focus on wrestling, bounce in the gym, see how it feels. But I will say, Killcliff like to spar, bro. It's not a light cupcake gym to walk back into.
No, not at all. Not at all. See, that's the thing. It's they've always, I don't want to say they never pampered me. Trust me, I took my beating. Right. So I've taken a lot of beatings. but it's the reason also I was able to go and dominate in the cage. Right, your training partners, your coaches, they prepare you. It's where you build your confidence. So most, not most of the days, every day I was fighting a guy that's either the best in the world or could be the best in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and then you got coaches coaching you that are the best in the world. Right, so I won't be sparring. I'll tell you that. If I spar, I probably won't make it to the rest of the match. So
Don't spar before RAF, bro.
yeah, we'll focus on mitts, little things to keep my mind, um, break up just the runs and things like that, and keep my sweat going, but also have fun, and keep everything light.
And last thing I want to do is I just want 3 rapid fire predictions for RAF5. We talked about yours, but 3 other bangers on the card. Starting with the main event. Luke Rockhold, Colby Covington. Who's taking it?
You put me in a bad situation here because I love Luke's my dog. Luke's my dog. He's from Kill Cliff. I know Luke. Um, I'm gonna say Luke, but just Colby has the wrestling background. That's the only thing that scares me, right? Uh, if I'm being, in my heart of hearts, Colby, right? But I'll never go against my guys. And Luke's an awesome athlete, an awesome dude. So I'm gonna say Rockhold, even though I might be wrong.
Hey, all good, man. I love it regardless. And next up, my most anticipated match, maybe of the evening, just because of the freaking. I never thought it would happen. Bo Nickel, Yoel Romero. Nonsense. Who takes that?
Bo.
Bo Nickel takes Yoel Romero, even after what Yoel just did to Pat Downey.
Yeah, I think Bo is Bo's not far off from his wrestling. Still trains wrestling. He's still up there in Happy Valley,
Yep.
right? Which are amazing. Them dudes are good up there, and he trains wrestling every day, which he should be with his striking and all of that. I think just his experience, and I've always been I'm a big fan of both, right? I think he could go either way, but I'm going with my guy, Bo.
And then lastly,
USA.
USA. Love it, bro. Lastly, maybe another USA answer here. Lance Palmer or Armin Sarukian?
Oh, Lance, no doubt. The party is coming to town, right?
That's an upset pick. A lot of people are saying Armin, but people don't know Lance's wrestling background.
I think I'm always going to go with my guy, Lance. There's no ands, ifs, or buts. I think Lance gets it done. Armin, he's causing a big wave throughout, all aspects, MMA, jiu-jitsu. There's a couple other things that he's doing grappling wise. But Lance has the wrestling background, and Lance is my guy. So I'm always Lance, and Lance.
Love it, man. Jordan, I appreciate the time, man. We definitely went a little over. Before I get you out of here, anything you want to say to the fans? The mic is yours.
Just be prepared to come and see a show. And, at the end of the day, it's all about you guys. Always to the fans. We wouldn't be able to do this without the support, but also without the eyes to put on a show and really prepare to give the fans what they want. So hopefully this time, we're able to put points on the board, and I hope they enjoy it.
Well, I can't wait myself, very biasly. But ladies and gentlemen, January 10th, that's this Saturday, Jordan Oliver looks to defend his featherweight. I don't know if it's called featherweight, 145-pound belt, whatever it is in wrestling. But Jordan Oliver, kick some ass, all right, brother? And still.
Thank you. I appreciate the time.